This just in, our BlueRose YouTube channel would like to let you know that we're now being sponsored by Canine Chronicle TV. Hey everybody, welcome to BlueRose Kennels YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing some basic truck maintenance stuff. For those of you that may not do your own maintenance, we're going to give you a hand on what to look for and how to keep things running smoothly and safe. Back with you real soon. Okay, the things we're going to be covering today, 4 or 5 items on vehicle maintenance. One would be your scheduled maintenance. Your vehicle manufacturer, all of them have scheduled maintenance and intervals you're supposed to do things at. That's important. 2, I highly recommend a routine. Before you leave town, you can run through a little checklist for your maintenance and safety issues for your vehicle. 3, something that sounds really funny, but how to look for leaks, whatever fluid it may be. We're going to go through the checking of the fluids. And also obviously tire pressure and just basic things. But those are some of the items we're going to be covering, maybe a couple of extras. I'm a big fan of preventative maintenance. Fix it or replace it before it's broken and you're on the side of the road. There's some things that are very simple to do to cover those areas. It doesn't take much time, just a little bit of practice and repetition that you get yourself in a little bit of a pattern or groove or checklist before you leave town. So we're on our way outside. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody. We're outside now. We have 2 different vehicles, a larger type box truck, RV, and then a regular van, canine traveler type. Principles are all the same. Checking your fluids, tire pressure, all those things are basically the same, just different methods. So we're going to go through here right now and show you on the bigger vehicle first how to check some fluids and things to look for. First of all, you have to know how to access your engine compartment. On this vehicle, we have 2 straps. I guess the details don't matter about that. We'll get right down to business. And as I mentioned inside, your owner's manual is going to have your set vehicle maintenances, your maintenance schedule. It's also going to give you locations of where to check your fluids, where those areas are that you go to check each individual type of fluid. As you can see here, it's a pretty good size diesel truck. Me personally, I have anybody that does maintenance on my vehicles put the mileage and the last time the maintenance was done, date and mileage on the part they replace, so I can quickly look and see when it was last done. You're also going to notice the engine compartment is quite clean. This is very important to be able to find and distinguish and see leaks. Leaks are a precursor to a problem. I never met a leak I liked. That's a tongue twister. So when you get your truck washed, big trucks like this, they'll offer you to wash the engine compartment. I have it done probably every other time, maybe every 3rd time. Don't have to do it every time. But it also gives you the ability to see your hoses, your belts, to check for wear and possible maintenance needed on those. Now on this truck, as I said, you can access the manuals. I'll tell you this would be your oil level check. You simply pull this out. First of all, your vehicle needs to be warm, not necessarily operating temperature, but the vehicle needs to be warm and on a level surface in order to get a proper reading on your oil dipstick. They're different. Pull that out. This is quite long on a big truck. You'll come down and you'll see the stick is completely covered with oil. That doesn't tell you anything, does it? So what you have to do is you have to get yourself some paper towel. I typically have a little paper towel right here, man, along with some gloves when I fuel, a flashlight in case it's at night I need to see something quick, and I'll always have typically a tire pressure gauge handy for when I stop for fuel. If tire looks low or something, we'll get to that in a second. But to check your oil on any vehicle, it's the same method. You're going to pull the dipstick out. You're going to wipe it off clean, because as the engine's running, the oil will splash up onto the dipstick and you won't get a reading. So you have to take it out, clean it. You can see it's completely clean. You'll see a full mark and then an area that's an acceptable range. We haven't been traveling, so I'm assuming the oil here is good on this, unless it's laying out on the ground, and we'll cover those leaks later here in a second. Okay, here you have it. That level is right where it should be, just below the full line, right at the full line. So we got no problem with the oil in this vehicle. All right, there we go. Also, in a big vehicle like this, it's very nice. It's spacious and you can see a lot of things. For example, your power steering fluid. Most vehicles nowadays have actual levels on the reservoirs or containers that hold the fluids. You can see clearly right here it's marked maximum cold level, maximum hot. We're right in the range. Make sure the lid's good. That's your power steering fluid. Before I leave for trips, I typically go through and look at things. I'll look and see belts or hoses, or just kind of take a glance. If I see anything unacceptable, then I take a look at it. Now, as I said before, I like to have mileage and last date the filters or things were replaced. That goes for pretty much everything. As you're checking your fluids, you want to take a quick look at some of your hoses, your belts. If you see unnecessary wear or fraying, immediately replace them. I actually like to replace belts, even if there's no problems in hoses, every 18 months or so, depending on how much use we've had. Here's another example. This is a coolant tank on this truck. You've got a low and a full mark. Just take a look at it. Windshield washer fluid is here on the side. You know, just take a gander at that and see if you need to pour some in there. Not that super important, but if you get into bad weather and dirty windshield, it will be important. Oils and fluids and stuff. I'm a proponent of synthetic oils. Some people are, some people aren't. I also use some fuel and oil additives at times. My truck, when I change the oil, I use a Lucas oil additive, stabilizer it's called. There's a recommended amount depending on how much oil your vehicle holds. I also use the fuel system cleaner probably every third fill up or so with the truck. I'll put a quart of that in there, help keep fuel injection clean, emissions components, EGR valves clean, things like that. As I'm going over these things, I'll make sure in the description box I have a list of things I check. Now we're going to go and we're going to do tires. Tire pressure is very, very important. Tire pressure can affect tire wear, safety, traction in the rain. Some people don't give it a lot of weight, but it is very, very important. The proper tire pressure makes the tire work properly the way it was designed. Every vehicle has a sticker on it, and it'll tell you the size of tire that you have, okay? And it will tell you the recommended pressure for that tire. So on your vehicle identification stickers, usually in the door panel, you'll have that. It's hard to read because it's small, but trust me, it's there. This particular vehicle, if I do recall, it's recommended for 120 PSI for the front tires, 110 for the rears. What you do is you're going to obviously have a tire gauge that will meet that requirement and pressure. Just like any other vehicle, you have a valve stem here. Remove the valve stem, check the pressure. This tire here has about 110, 115, so pretty good range. If the fronts require 120, we're pretty safe. Now you're going to notice something here I'm going to bring to your attention. You see on the tire here, this weathering, this cracking, that's not good. Okay, that's called part of a dry rot. Tires start to do that even before, some of them before they wear out, when these big trucks sit in the sun. That's not too bad. The wear and tear on the sidewall, those tires will have to be replaced at some point, but we'll just keep an eye on those. Also, when we talked about leaks, I always recommend park your truck on a surface that's flat and level. If it's not a cement area and you're in the grass, put a big piece of cardboard underneath. And so if you notice a drip or a spot, it's easily to see. If you park on the grass, you're never going to see it. Here over time, you'll see little spots from stuff that's leaked before, but nothing real fresh or wet. So looks like things are pretty sealed up on this truck. As we go back, checking tire pressures, some of your bigger trucks and motorhomes have dual tires. Sometimes that can be a little more difficult to check the pressure. You'll need a gauge, something like this, where it can go from different angles. I would recommend in a vehicle like this, some of us can get this done. If you're uncomfortable doing it, I would just recommend next time you get your vehicle serviced, ask them to check the tire pressure on the bigger vehicles. It's really that simple just to ask, and if you have a good service center, they'll be happy to do it for you. I'm big into balancing of tires. A lot of people don't balance a truck tires, even the rears and steer tires. It helps the tire wear properly, way better ride. A lot of big trucks, people don't recommend that. That's something I happen to like. For you lady handlers out there, this is pretty important for you to have a checklist, or at least to know what to look for quickly before you leave town. It'll help you a lot. My motto, and sometimes it's a very costly motto, if in doubt, if something looks funny, take it in. If you smell something different, take it in. There's usually a reason for it. It's like dogs. It's like the dogs that we show when they're not feeling well and acting different. There's usually a reason. Just same for your vehicles. When they're acting different, or you smell something funny or see something funny, usually there's a reason. And the same principles apply for your generator if you have a big generator in your vehicle, for checking fluids and fluid levels, etc. Again, I do all the maintenance outside, hours and what's not. This particular generator has an access panel that you remove You can see the coolant tank. It has levels on it as well on the other side, but it's just like the others. Your oil fill, oil check, all the basic same principle as the engine in the truck. Now these generators, as we all know, generators can be troublesome. I recommend that even trucks like this with big generators, maybe you carry an auxiliary small generator just in case of an emergency. So now let's go to the regular, popular, or common size van. We'll get the same principles apply about tire pressure, the way to check it. We'll get the hood open here and show you in this van. One thing I can tell you is never, never, never open your radiator of any kind of vehicle when the vehicle's hot. Those systems are under pressure and that can cause a big problem. Okay, like I was saying, compared to the other vehicle, the same principles. Your containers have level marks on them, oil filled, oil check, dipstick. Again, refer to your owner's manual for the locations on those things. And also keep the engine compartment clean. Same principle, checking for leaks, seeing hoses that are dry rot. We've all had vehicles sitting for a while without shows, so getting them back on the road safely is going to be utmost important. Sometimes sitting is worse than driving for aging and wear and tear on the vehicles. So like I said, this same principle on tires, same principle. We got a different style generator here we can look at real quickly. So a smaller gas powered generator, a different access door, but still they all have access doors somewhere. You have your oil fill, and in this case there is no dipstick. It just fills to a level once you pull that plug. It will show you on the plug or in your manual what the proper level should be. All right, that's pretty much for the outside. We'll go back inside and finish up with some information and give you some advice on things that you might want to carry in your vehicle for safety. Things such as jumper cables, a jumper box, a piece of equipment that's rechargeable that you can use to jump start your vehicle. Those are very important and can be purchased relative to the size of vehicle. You have different size boxes for different size vehicles. But that's it for outside now. We'll go back inside and finish up.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. I would like to recap a couple things. A couple of them are very important. One thing that I did not mention outside is all the fluid checks and the tire pressure, all these things must be done with your vehicle turned off, in park, emergency brakes on, safety first. Don't try and check the tire pressure rolling down the road. Just kidding. Anyway, now to recap some other things and my basic keys or topics of the day. Your scheduled maintenance. Really try and follow that. Scheduled maintenance and preventative maintenance will go a long, long way in the longevity of your vehicle and the dependability of your vehicle. And none of us want to be sitting on the side of the road waiting for assistance at any time. Also, your leaks. I can't stress enough. I know it may sound silly, but a leak is a precursor to a problem of some kind. If you see something or smell an odor, odd odor or something for the first time, don't just dismiss it. Try and check it out. And if you can't figure it out, take your vehicle somewhere to a professional that possibly can. Also, tire pressure, mentioned that. That's an important thing for proper tire wear, ride, safety, inclement weather, rain, traction. Tire pressure is very important. Last but not least, pre-travel checklist. I kind of have one in my head. I'm going to put one in the box below. Some items that I think could help people if you get in the habit of checking before you hit the road, save you some trouble down the road. Lots of roads. Also, jumper cables. A good quality set of jumper cables is very important and a must-have for the road. I know there's lots of little kits you can buy, and the inexpensive ones sometimes aren't very helpful in the end. And then the other thing that I did mention was basic jumper box. If you have a dead battery and there's no one around to help you, those things I find to be invaluable. As I said outside, they make different models for different sized vehicles. If you have any questions, feel free to write in an email. I can give you a little bit of help. There's many brands, many different kinds that do different things, but one of the basic boxes for your type of vehicle is also very helpful. I think I've covered it. No raffle this week with me or today with me. I'm not allowed to give things away. Amy's got a big one coming Friday the 10th, and I look forward to seeing that. My next video will be involving safety and travel tips and comfort for traveling with our dogs. whether it be in a van or in a box truck. There's some things over the years that I've done that I think are pretty helpful, have come in useful for us many, many times. So I look forward to sharing those with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Ring the bell, subscribe, check the box, do all those things, and hopefully you'll share this with a friend, and we'll see you next time. So you can look for those things in an upcoming video. So you can look for that in an upcoming video. So you can be flat in a last video. So everything's like that. And cat in the hat. And don't do it like that. And let's be done with this. And what to do and what not to do. Some things to prevent. Too much?
Yeah, just
Dirty tires. You're getting pictures of dirty tires.
Is it rolling?
Yep.
So we're really rolling. Do I need to do the spinning thing again?
no.
Outside with the vehicles, hopefully it was helpful.